Have your say. Call us now on 015-151-1058.
Mr. Mamabolo, good evening and welcome.
Good evening and thank you for having me.
How do you define forgiveness?
Forgiveness, I like what one doctor said. And he said that it's the choice to release feelings of anger or resentment or vengeance towards someone who has hurt you. And with that in mind, I also like what Tony Robbins said. He calls it's the gift that you give to yourself. Sometimes we find ourselves in situations where someone has wronged us, or even us, we ourselves also wrong ourselves. So when we take that time to change the story that we are associating that particular event that happened in our lives because we did it intentionally or someone else did to us, that is the process of forgiveness.
A choice to release several kinds of feelings.
Yes.
So it's quite at a personal level.
Yes.
And I understand that there's different kinds of forgiveness.
Yes, they are.
Introduce us to these kinds.
Dr. Mamadi, when he was discovering or he was doing his research on forgiveness, he discovered that there are three types of forgivenesses. The first one being exoneration. It's where you are wiping the slate clean. When someone has wronged you and you forgive them so clean that you even forget that the wrong that they did to you, and you restore the relationship that you might have had with that person as if nothing happened. Another one would be forbearance. Forbearance meaning that you are going to stop dwelling on what that particular person did to you, and you are going to release any grudge that you might have, or even the pursuit for vengeance that you might be having towards that particular person. And after you've forgiven them and you've taken the action, you are not necessarily going to fully trust them, but you're going to deal with them cautiously because you know what they did to you that caused you pain. And the last one would be when you are releasing, you forgive in a sense of releasing, meaning that even if the person does not come to you and ask for the apology, or they don't even show any type of remorse, but you are going to release those negative emotions that you have for your own sake and for your own peace's sake.
The last kind might prove to be quite difficult, is it? To say you just personally decide to say, I'm releasing this feeling of forgiving this person, of making peace with what this person has done to me, despite the fact that this person hasn't actually come to you to say, I'm sorry for doing this. But how do you do that exactly?
I'm reminded of a story that happened between me and my grandma. So, when we were growing up, I remember this time, my mother gave me some money. And from the money that she gave me, I decided because it was back in the olden days when we didn't have PlayStations and all those things. I took the money and I bought myself a stereo. Now, when I bought that stereo, my granny saw me playing that stereo, playing music and dancing. And she remembered that she had her own batteries. And she couldn't see her own batteries. And because she couldn't see her own batteries, she turned to me and said, no, you are the one. Because you are dancing, it means you took my batteries. So what she did was that she didn't ask me where did I get my batteries or even that stereo. She just took out the soundbox and gave me a few lashes. Then I cried and I even ran away. And after what she did, I got angry with her to say that but I am innocent in this. This is the money that I had. This is the money that I was supposed to be using for my scarfing and everything that I would be spending for the rest of the month. Now, after a few hours, she then realized that I beat my grandson for nothing, because then she found her batteries. But she never came to me to say that, I'm sorry for what I did. I did it unintentionally. Then a few months later, my granny died. And after she died, I still kept that pain within me to say that she hit me for no reason. And for many years, I kept with that pain within me, not releasing even that particular event that happened to me. And I noticed this when there was this funeral that we went there at home. And when we were at this funeral, my sister after the funeral said, let's go pass by Granny's graveyard and let's just see if it's being well taken care of. And because that pain was still within me, that the fact that I haven't forgiven her or I haven't even released, I refused to go there. And for a couple of years, when I would go for a funeral, when she says, let's go and pass and let's check if the graveside is well. And I discovered that I found that there's this pain that I'm holding towards my granny. And the funny thing is that she had long gone. It's been a couple of years that she has passed on, but I still carried that pain that I had within me. And what I needed to do and what I did was that I realized that there's nothing I can do to get her to apologize. She's already gone. Now, what can I do with this? What I did was that I realized that no, since I can't change anything about this situation and it's causing me pain every time I come to the graveside, why can't I just release this pain that I have towards her? I mean, there's nothing that she can do. I can pray about it to think that there's nothing that's within my control that I could do. Now, when you realize that someone has wronged me and there's nothing that you could do, sometimes you find that it's not someone that's related to us. It's someone who just wronged us. Maybe they did it intentionally or unintentionally. So, but you find that we are carrying that pain within our hearts, and that pain is causing us a lot of sickness. One doctor discovered that when you are carrying a lot of negative emotions, they in turn, instead of building you up, they even give you diseases. Now, when you realize that no, if me carrying this pain or carrying this hurt or this anger or this resentment towards a particular person who's not even there, who might not even know that I've got this pain that I'm carrying because of them, when you realize that no, there's nothing that I can do. Yes, there are people that you can share and say, Rebecca, you remember last time you did this to me? That didn't feel good for me. But when you can't do that, it's time for you. You either decide, are you going to have peace of mind by releasing that pain that you've got towards that particular person, or you're going to keep that pain within you?
And I would imagine we truly have to acknowledge that different instances bring about different feelings.
Yes, they do. Yes.
And people react to instances in different ways. But oftentimes when conversations around forgiveness come about, people talk about forgetting as well. Mm-hmm. You have those who will advise to say that you can forgive but don't forget. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about that briefly. What is your particular advice? Because I would imagine if you're choosing to forgive and not forget, it means every once in a while thoughts will come about. Mm-hmm. And also scientifically, forgetting, what does that mean exactly? What do you usually advise when one presents you with that kind of dilemma?
I would say it depends on the situation. Like, let me give you an example. Now, say, for example, that you and I were in a relationship and I hurt you. Now, you might forget, you might say, no, but I still love you today. Please forgive and forget what I did to you. Now, you realize that, no, there would be triggers that as we are continuing with our relationship, there would be some triggers. If maybe I do something, that something becomes a trigger to what I did to you yesterday. And you might be remembering, oh no, but this guy, let me not fully trust him because of what he did to me. Now, there are instances where sometimes you need to forgive and forget. And there are instances where you need to forgive, not necessarily forget, but to be cautious of what you are forgiving, because sometimes people might cause you some pain, and because they see that you've forgotten, they might take advantage of you to say that no, Rebecca is just too nice. I can hurt her today and I'll hurt her tomorrow and she'll still forgive me. No, there are instances where you need to say that no. In those situations where it's something emotional in terms of relationship, you need to be cautious. Forgive the person for what they did, but also be cautious, and not only be cautious, but also frequently remind them to say that no. Be careful if you are going to do 1, 2, 3, 5 because it's a trigger for me. Now, when we have those conversations to even alert each other, no, when we are doing this, you are triggering those negative emotions that happened to me in the past. Please be careful when you are stepping in this area. Now, both of us are able to take care of each other. And in those instances where you are forgetting, it also helps you, because now every time when that particular memory comes to your mind, because you've released everything related to that particular emotion, and maybe to an extent that you've even created better memories with that particular person, now you're no longer even feeling those negative emotions toward them. So in both cases, make sure that whatever case is good for you, apply it there.
So if one chooses to forgive, they must forgive and then proceed with caution.
Yes.
I think everyone should write that down in their diaries, their journals, and so forth. On our weekly motivation tonight, we're talking about forgiveness with author of motivational books and life coach Ebenezer Mamabolo. You can join us in conversation. Our WhatsApp text line is 079 295 1212, 079 295 1212, or you can send us an SMS to 47861. Start each SMS with the short code EFM, and each SMS is charged at R1.50. And you can also give us a call, as we will be continuing with this conversation after the break.
Have your say. Call us now on 015-151-1058. Conversations with Rebecca Phala. Have your say. Call us now on 015-151-1058.
The time is 21 minutes past 8. This is Conversations on Energy FM 102.1 and Choice FM 101.1. We are in the middle of our weekly motivation and in conversation with the author of motivational books and life coach Ebenezer Mamabolo as we're talking about forgiveness. You can join us in conversation. Our WhatsApp text line is 079-295-1212, 079-295-1212. You can also send us an SMS to 47861, 47861. Start each SMS with the short code EFM, and each SMS is charged at R1.50. Let's go back to talking about it all starting with the individual.
Yes.
Because that's what I asked you earlier to say, how does one do that exactly? Because it sounds immediately like one of those things where one would quickly respond to say, it sounds easier said than done.
Yes.
Hence, I'm hoping that you can be able to then give us further clarity regarding the practicality of one truly forgiving themselves. What do you even forgive yourself for? Because oftentimes you probably even think, I did nothing wrong, because you would be quick to defend yourself as an individual. How do you first diagnose that you have been very unkind to yourself and then work towards forgiving yourself? And how do you do that exactly?
You know, one of the signs that would show you us that we still have got negative emotions towards ourselves is when we start to self-sabotage. Whether we are self-sabotaging in our careers or we are self-sabotaging even in relationships, you might find that the cause of that self-sabotage is the fact that we have not taken the time to forgive ourselves. And I've discovered some of the areas that we need to forgive ourselves in. The first one would be for the mistakes that we might have made. Maybe you are now getting into relationships or you've got a new job, and instead of you moving on with a clean slate to say that, no, I'm going to give my very best with this, you find that you still have got emotions. You haven't forgiven yourself for the mistakes that you might have made. Another area would be some of the stupid things that we continually make. You know, as we are growing up and we make a lot of stupid things. Maybe we are even doing negative things, maybe that destroy our bodies or even our health. But we need to forgive ourselves even for those stupid things that we are making. Another area would be for the missed opportunities in our lives. Sometimes we do not have control over which opportunities we are ready for and which opportunities we are not ready for. But we need to get to a point where even if we miss those opportunities, we need to forgive ourselves for not being ready, for not having had become the particular person who can see and seize those opportunities. Another area would be where we don't believe in ourselves. Sometimes when we are presented with these opportunities, you might find that you are questioning your beliefs. And you are questioning your beliefs because maybe someone told you that you are not worthy of such success. You are not worthy of that particular promotion. So you need to also forgive yourself for not believing in yourself. In those instances where you find that you are not believing in yourself, where another area would be believing in your own dreams. Sometimes we get discouraged by people and we tend to believe the stories that they have or they are telling of us and what's possible for us. Now, when you've bought into that particular story, you also need to forgive yourself for not pursuing your own dreams by buying into someone else's dreams. Another area would be you need to forgive yourself for letting others make you feel like you are not enough. Maybe you are not enough for a particular promotion, you are not enough for a particular person, or whatever area that you might have felt that you are not enough. Forgive yourself for that particular negative emotions. Another one would be even living your own life to please other people. You need to realize that there is nothing that you can do that will please everyone in this whole world. So you need to get to a point where even if you try, maybe sometimes you might find that you are trying to please your parents, you're trying to please your friends or even your spouse, but you'll never get to that point where you are pleasing everybody. I appreciate that when you've fallen into that trap of trying to live your life to please someone else, forgive yourself for that mistake. Now, when you notice that these are some of the things, some of the areas that you need to forgive yourself on or to work on, the first thing that you need to do is that acknowledge that you are enough just as you are. Whether people are happy with you, you are enough just as you are. are. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with the opportunities that you have missed. It's just that you had not become the particular person that you needed to become. So what you need to do is that work on becoming a better version of yourself. Yes, you might have made those mistakes. Now you might have some negative emotions towards yourself, but learn to say that, no, these are the mistakes that I made. Now, what am I going to learn? Now, this is what I learned about me. This is what I learned about that particular situation. Now, what can I do to move forward? What can I do to release these negative emotions? When you find that, no, maybe, for example, it's a missed opportunity, go and reapply for that particular opportunity if you still have a chance. If you felt that you were not enough or you never had the chance to pursue your dreams, go give your dreams another shot. If you were trying to pursue something and you failed, give yourself a second chance to say, no, it might have not been possible yesterday because I wasn't the person who could take that opportunity, but let me try again now because I've become a better person. So that's what we need to do.
Lebara from Seshego says, Mr. Mamabolo, then what if you are able to forgive a person, but then you still feel like you have something on your shoulder, or even when you see the person or talk to them, you get angry for no reason?
When that happens, sometimes when we go to people who've wronged us, we are going there because we just only want to get what's within our chest or what we've got, those negative emotions. But sometimes what you need to do is that when you are going to that particular person, or whether you are confronting them or you are going to talk with them, try to see things from their view. Now, you might find that I'm having negative emotions or I'm angry at you because I think that the reason you hurt me is because you intentionally wanted to do so. And you might find that, no, Rebecca didn't intentionally want to hurt me, but it was just a mistake. Now, when you are going to confront that particular person that you are going to confront, or you are going to talk to that particular person, don't have your own preconceived ideas of why they hurt you. Go and open-heartedly listen to that particular person and get to see if they really did this intentionally or unintentionally. Now, when you get to a point where you realize that, no, the truth of the matter is that they didn't do this intentionally, you might find that, no, you might even feel stupid. And I remember one time when I felt stupid, when someone hurt me and I confronted them, I said, no, you did this to me. I said, no, I didn't even realize that. And for a long time, I had those emotions. So when you are talking to that particular person, try your very best to remove any preconceived things that you might have to say that, no, this is why they did this to me.
Would you say, as we conclude, that perhaps people like Leborang and many others need to also allow themselves to go through the process because it's a journey? Going back to what I said earlier about how you're often told it's really easier said than done, the understanding then being that it really takes time and it's not going to just happen in an instant.
Yes, forgiveness is a process, and you need to allow yourself to go through that particular person because the level in which we've been hurt, it's not the same. Sometimes you might find that someone has violated you sexually or in whatever ways, and just releasing it won't be enough, or it won't happen in an instant. So you need to go through that process, and when you are going through that process, maybe what you should do is that every time when maybe you are getting those negative emotions, say this thing to yourself: I am better than this, and I am better than this situation. I am forgiving not because I am weak, but I am forgiving because I want to remain strong.
I'll tell you this, my top 2 lessons from this discussion: forgive and proceed with caution, trust the process.
Yes.
We're concluding now our quote of the week.
Our quote for the week, it comes from Will Smith. He said that throughout life, people will make us mad, they will disrespect us, and they will treat us bad. But we need to let God deal with the things that these people do to us, because in the end, it's in our hearts. If we carry this hate in our hearts, it will also consume us. And the last one would be from Mahatma Gandhi. And he said that the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is an attribute of the strong.
Your contact details?
On all of the social medias, just search for Ebenezer Mamabolo, send me a friend request, and follow me whether you are on Instagram or at Twitter. Search for King_AB. And when you are booking me as a speaker and as a coach, contact me on 071-639-7807.
Mr. Ebenezer Mamabolo, we always learn from you. Thank you for joining us in conversation tonight.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
That's our time on Conversations tonight. Coming up next is Night Flight with Matumo Manaka. Thanks to the show's content producer, Mami Morashwa, our technical producer, Emmanuel Quinda, and to you for always listening and interacting with us. I am Rebecca Phala. Enjoy the rest of your evening and stay safe.